What if you could literally do in 1 hour what most people end up achieving in a whole day? Let me tell you that the only reason why you're not yet able to do that is because there are two main things killing your productivity. Now in this video I'm going to share with you exactly what those two things are and how to actually solve the problem, so that you're going to be able to do literally in 3 to 4 hours 1 week worth of work. I'm not even joking, that's what I personally do right now, and literally end up doing in so little time so much that it feels crazy. But first of all, before I'm going to share with you those two things to fix, I want to clear what productivity actually means for us. It's very important because there are two main ways to see it. Many people just see productivity as doing many things fast, just being efficient, just being active, being like a robot who ends up doing many things. That's not our definition of productivity. For you and I wanting to actually achieve our goals, the best definition of productivity is doing the right things, the most important things, in as little time as possible. This is very crucial, bro, because many people just focus on unimportant things and just want to do them as quickly as possible. But it doesn't matter how efficient you are, bro. If you do the wrong things, you're not going to get to your goals, even if you're like very fast at things. If you want to be very productive, which means getting towards your goals as quickly as possible, you want to be able to do the right things as quickly as possible. And that's why the first biggest productivity killer is doing the wrong things. And you might think to yourself right now that you're already doing the perfect things. But if you feel very often overwhelmed, like you don't have enough time throughout the day to do everything you want to do, then it means that you're very probably not doing the right things. And also, if you feel like you're not satisfied with the results you're getting, you feel like you're not progressing as fast as you would want to, then it means that you're very probably not doing the right things. Now, how do you actually identify the right things? How do you know that that is the right thing and that other is a wrong thing? Now, it's very simple. You identify them with a few simple questions. I'm going to share them with you in just a minute. But first of all, I want you to do a little exercise. I want you to look at your goals and define them specifically. Now, if you have one main goal in life, that's perfect. But most people have between 3 to 5, goals that they want to achieve with all of their heart. Main goals in life. Do you know them? Have you ever defined them? Have you ever thought about them? If you haven't, I want you to write them down on a piece of paper so that they're actually going to be clear for you. Second thing I want you to do is to look at every single one of them and ask yourself, what things would actually get me to achieve it? What are the most important things that I can do to get me there? And here I want you to think about the 80-20 rule. You may have already heard about this 80-20 rule. It basically says that 20% of the things you do get you 80% of the results, and 80% of the things you can do will get you just 20% of the results. So obviously here we're just trying to identify that 20% that will get you the 80% of results. So try looking at those things and ask yourself, what is the 20% of things that will get me 80% of results? And then it's very simple. It's just about being ruthless about it and letting go of everything else. I know this is hard because you're thinking to yourself, well, if I do that, someone might get upset, some things might go wrong, and you don't want to sacrifice doing the things that you're probably doing right now, right? Like checking emails while you're working, like doing unimportant things that don't get you anywhere. But if you want to achieve your goals, you have to realize that it's a lot about sacrificing things. You have to realize that you can do anything but not everything, as the quote says, and this is so true, bro. If you want to achieve your goals, you have to define the things that get you there and forget about all the rest, because otherwise you're going to just feel productive, like you're doing many things, but you're not actually going to progress. So make sure that you define the most important things and then forget of all the rest and be at peace with having a few unimportant things going wrong, having some people being upset, having some things failing, because at the end of the day, You don't really care if that or that other thing is failing, if it's not in line with your goals anyways, right? Now, another thing I suggest you to do is to basically plan your day every single day. Now, I like doing it on paper, and I highly recommend you to do it on paper. What I do is writing down the two, not three, not four, two most important things I will do my next day. Now, just defining two is very crucial because, as I said, if you're focusing on many things and if you're feeling like you have 100,000 different things, it very probably is because you're not prioritizing enough, because you're focusing on little bullshit, unimportant things instead of the ones that would actually get you results. And so make yourself this rule: you're not going to do more than two most important work-related activities every single day. And to identify the most important ones, like the 20% that will get you 80% of results, I have a few questions for you. The first one I ask myself every single day is, what if I don't? I literally have it written here. So what if I don't do it? Can I still achieve my goals? Can I still get closer to them? Or is this crucial? If it's not crucial, then forget about it. Another question I like asking myself is, would I be satisfied of my day if I was just going to do that one thing? If not, it probably means that it's not that important. And then the third question, is this actually important, or am I just doing it to procrastinate, the harder, more important things? If it's just one of those things you're doing to feel productive, ditch it straight away, forget about it. Now, once you've actually identified the most important things and you've planned them for your next day, we obviously want to be doing shitloads of work very, very quickly. And that's where the second most important productivity killer comes into play, which is distractions. Most people, they know what has to be done, but they let themselves be distracted by so many things, and that's why they don't end up achieving anything. You have to realize that with focus, all you really need to do is eliminate distractions to be able to focus, right? Because distractions is the opposite of focus, right? If you have distractions, you're not going to be able to focus. So if you want to focus, eliminate distractions. It's literally as simple as that. So what are the main distractions that most people have while they're working? Well, first of all, their environment. Secondly, not having set the right rules. Thirdly, electronic devices. Fourthly, their own thoughts. Fifth thing that, is going to distract most people is not having, set a good time frame. And sixth is not having prepared everything. And then we have a little bonus one, which is after your working session, and I will get to that in just a few minutes. Now, the first thing you really want to improve is your environment. So I've seen this so often on myself, where I wanted to focus on something, but I put myself in an environment where there were like people going around, or people doing things, or things moving around, or sounds, and obviously I had to really focus and give up part of my focus to not let myself be distracted by those things. And so I was already spending a little bit of my focus on that, which obviously is the reason why I couldn't focus to 100% on that thing. Now, another thing that most people do wrong is having their electronic devices disturb them all the time. When I work, I have my phone turned off on airplane mode without notifications. If I really need it, for doing hotspot, I make sure that no one can call me, no one can send me messages. I don't get any sound or any notification from my phone. I've set up my phone like a dumb phone by downloading a very, very powerful app. I also, have put it on black and white so I don't get stimulated by it. And I basically have set it up so that when I'm working, there is nothing coming from my phone. I have no distractions coming from it. My laptop, the same thing. I have one tab open, no YouTube, no Instagram, no messages or WhatsApp or mails. I get rid of all of that, make sure that I cannot get any notification, any call. I also make sure that if I don't need it, my laptop is on airplane mode, so it doesn't have any Wi-Fi, so I cannot get any messages or things like that. I also make sure, bro, that I don't have the possibility to go on YouTube or Instagram, so I have Chrome extension that block everything. And if I really need to go on YouTube to do a research, those Chrome extensions help me to not get distracted by anything else. So that is how I set up my devices. But you really want to make sure that nothing can distract you while you work coming from your electronic devices. Now, the third thing that many people are struggling with is knowing when they should go on messages or on mails or on WhatsApp and check what other people sent them. What I personally have seen is that setting myself some very easy, simple rules has played the biggest role in my life. I cannot go on messages, WhatsApp or mails except between 12 and 2 p.m. and 5 and 7 p.m. So basically throughout all the morning and throughout a big part of my afternoon, I cannot go on WhatsApp messages and mails. So when I'm working, I don't want to be there asking myself, okay, should I now go and check that mail that person should have sent me by now, or should I send this one? No, I don't give myself the possibility to start thinking about those things. Then the fourth thing is preparing everything. Every single evening when I plan my day, I basically set up all my things that I need for the next day. So if I have some work on my laptop, I close off all tabs and I just keep open the one that I need. If I don't need my Wi-Fi, I turn it off, and so I already have my laptop set it up. I have my clothes set it up for the next day. I have everything already set up so that in the morning I can work straight away without any distraction. And then the next thing I do is setting an alarm and pushing myself. Because you have to realize that if you give yourself a whole week for a specific work task, it will take you a whole week. If you give yourself 3 hours, it will take you 3 hours. And so I've personally seen that by giving myself 3 hours for something, I end up literally doing what I would have done in 1 week in 3 hours, bro. So set yourself an alarm and a time limit, a deadline every single time that really pushes you, that makes you feel like, oh, I'm on a timer, like I have to push myself, I have to really focus. And you will see that you will be focusing way much more, and you will stop doing the bullshit things if you really mean that deadline, and you have to mean it. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense to put it anyways. And then I have a little thing that I want you to do when you actually finished working, which is don't go on your fucking phone, bro. You just worked for 1.5 hours straight. You finish your flow state task. You just were focused, worked. You literally achieved what you wanted. Now give yourself, a little respect, a little tap on your shoulder, and give your mind some time to relax. It has used a lot of its energy. So if you have a working task in another 20 minutes or so, give yourself those 20 minutes of rest. What I like doing is, going dancing, or like putting on some music, walking, running, talking with people, calling my friends or family, eating, socializing, whatever, right? Like something that relaxes me, that doesn't take up my mental energy, like scrolling on social media, like reading a book, like doing another thing, like responding to messages. Nothing. Eliminate those things, and you will see that your second session will be even better. I already personally have made my own checklist, so that every single time I go to work, I literally read through that checklist and I tick it off, so that I know that I'm not having any one of those distractions. So if you want to check it out, I will link it in the description down below for free, obviously, so that you can basically copy it on your favorite checklist app and do it there every single time before your work. Make sure that you go through it and check off everything consciously and eliminate all the distractions. So that was it, bro. If you actually have some further questions, some further struggles, some things you want my personal help with, for free, by the way, you can get it by basically booking a free coaching call. You have the link in the description down below. If not, bro, don't worry about it. Just wanted to let you know that you have that possibility. Anyways, bro, everything I said on becoming productive as fuck will not have any meaning for you if you don't have a direction in life. Because it doesn't matter how much you get done in 1 hour or so, or 3 hours, or whatever amount of time. If you feel like the work you're doing doesn't have any meaning to it, if you feel like you don't know why you're doing those things, you don't have a purpose, a goal in life, then no amount of productive work will make you feel better. So if you feel lost in life, you want to figure out your purpose, I've already made a video about it, so just go and check it out.